Hey everyone, have a nice day. It is Tuesday, February Tuesday, 2024. And this morning I was speaking with someone who did not know what prompt engineering was. And I came up with an analogy that I think was really cool, and I wanted to share it with you briefly. Now, I want you to think about prompt engineering as a skill that you will need in the future. Similar to how in 2004, 2005, 6, knowing how to search Google and knowing what to type in Google to find what you were looking for was a really good skill. Now, prompt engineering 20 years from now will be something everyone will share in a skill because you will have learned how to do it. Learning how to do it early will help you a lot in your career. Now, what this way that you have to think about prompt engineering, really simple, is to making it do what you want it to do. So um, I'm going to switch to this screen here, and I want you to imagine that you are a teacher, and the AI is like a bunch of students in your class. Okay. Now, if you're a teacher and you want all these students to do what you want it to do, you need to be very precise in what you're asking them to do. Because once in a while, there will be this bright bulb of a student who will challenge your assumptions and take advantage of any ambiguity to do something different and go off on its own path and give you something you totally did not want. So when you're prompt engineering, in other words, you're using a chat program like ChatGPT, what I need you to think about is, how do we make sure that all the students in the class follow my instructions? Now, that means you need to give your instructions very clearly, outline any assumptions ahead of time, and very clearly define what success looks like. So, for example, let's say that you wanted it to create an art project about Paris. Now, one student might interpret that as, I'm going to make a song. Another one is going to say, I'm going to make a poem. Another one is going to say, I'm going to make a dish, a recipe. Another one might say, I'm going to make a photograph, and so forth and so on. See what happened? Because you were, as the teacher, you were not precise with the students. So they had freedom to go and interpret it however they want. Prompt engineering teaches you to be very specific. So I actually think that teachers who are, or people used to dealing with children, would make great prompt engineers, or parents, because they know that children will think out of the box and make and challenge assumptions and do something very different. Um, anyone remember this? Like when you're a kid and your dad said, you can't, you're punished or you have consequences. You cannot play on your computer. And then, minutes later, you walk in and you find out that they have been playing on the Game Boy or the Switch or whatever other console. And you're like, well, I thought I told you not to play computer. And the kid says, well, yes, Dad, I haven't touched my computer all day. And you're like, okay, loophole. Well, as a parent, you learn to be very specific, right? And so this is why we come up with terms like no screen time today, right? No screens of any kind. See, this is prompt engineering, because we're learning how to communicate more clearly, set the boundaries clearly. So if you want to have the students write, AI in this case, right, in a certain style, say what style you're looking for. So Paris example, if you wanted to have an art project on Paris and it needed to be a postcard, say it's a postcard, say it has to be hand drawn, say it has to be in a certain style of painting, describe what you want to see on the postcard. Don't leave it up to the children to go and find what they want to do. If you want a specific outcome, if you want them to be creative and you want to be inspired by what a group of students will come up with, then a great way to be inspired is just ask general things to the AI. The AI will behave a lot like these individual students. One time they'll do this, one time they'll do this, one time they'll do this, and then once in a while they'll do this, the unexpected thing. And so this prompt engineering, it's an important skill when it comes to building AI agents as well. Because if you build AI agents, you're basically chaining together series of instructions, and in the next instruction, you'll have an assumption of receiving some type of outcome from this group. And if you just happen to have not been specific, and this one here comes with something totally different, the next group of kids may not know what to do with that. So being good and specific will help you. Now, to just wrap this up, because I wanted to make this very short, the next time you're writing a prompt, think about yourself as a teacher, being very clear with your students what to expect. And if an AI comes back, right, and gives and acts like this kid in the bunch here, right, don't be like, hey, AI, you class, you're punished, you did a bad job. No, you as the teacher were not specific enough to where this student was allowed to interpret your instructions in a different way you didn't mean, right? And then when it comes to choosing the right AI for your needs, there will be one AI that will be better at art, one that's better at writing, one that's better at reasoning, one that's better at all kinds of different skills. As a teacher, it's also important that when you give instructions to different groups of kids, aka AI models, that you kind of know what their capabilities are. So you get to know that best by how? By interacting with them. You know, over time you get an impression. I often think about AI models like I think about co-workers with different strengths and weaknesses. And I know that I can ask one colleague for something and another one would not succeed at that same request. And it's no different with AI models. They're getting more capable over time, sure. But keep that in mind. Most of the time, when you pick a capable student and they're returning something you did not expect, the issue is with your instruction. And if you think about prompt engineering as if you're a teacher dealing with a bunch of students, and you learn how to be very specific and clear about what you want, then you're going to have better outcomes. So use this analogy. And I think even without prompt engineering experience, just this one principle will give you surprisingly good outcomes, no matter what it is that you are requesting. And give it a try and let me know, maybe a comment or something, if this mindset, if this helps you. That's all for me for now for this live stream. Have a great day. Thanks.